So we're authorized at 145, currently at 127. We have two anticipated retirements. One likely early March that may not even apply to this, and the other one has been declared as the very end of March, which would be after the hire date for the timetable that the academy and pre-academy begin on. We're limited to that timetable. You miss, you can't join late, it's not permissible to participate in training. So if we weren't able to fulfill our vacancies by a couple of weeks, we would go a full year, calendar year, before we again be able to entertain fulfilling those positions.
So I didn't realize that there was like a cap on police officers. Is that you're the limit that the city sets?
Yeah, so that's the authorized
Okay.
amount by budget. So all of the total positions, total ranks is at 145. Currently, as I said, right now at 127.
You didn't get a budget and transfer sheet, but is it not going to change anything with the budget?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry. I don't think it'll affect anything at this time. We're not requesting that. There's unused salary lines. We have some other vacant positions that are non-sworn police officers that are within our budget. So there would be unused salary funds within the police budget that would be able to be requested later. That would go over. If other people retire, it would create other surplus funds in those budget lines. There would be monies.
Unlikely to go over in this scenario.
Like good planning.
Trying.
Have no other question.
Okay, so this is marked for expedition. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any discussion? Or can you
So,
please-
I mean, it says here, the expedition is necessary to make effective by March 1st, 2026. So it sounds like for the timing,
And we can vote,
expedition
yeah,
would be
we can,
required.
yeah, we could vote on it on Wednesday.
So.
Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Murray is absent, Councilmember Cobb,
Aye.
Councilmember Duncan is absent, Councilmember Rathmel. Aye. Councilmember Matavetsky,
I,
Councilmember Hotchkiss.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tem Middleton.
Aye.
That is 5-0.
Thank you. RL 26-61 is now expedited for Wednesday's business meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
go ahead, Chief.
So next up, we have Public Works. Member Hotchkiss, can you introduce RL 26-67?
Sure. Here's an ordinance authorizing park outdoor to reconstruct and off-premise advertising sign billboard at Court and Alice Street. So, welcome.
Thank you.
How's it going? And what happened to this billboard where we need to reconstruct it?
But before Chris gets into it, I just kind of want to give an overview because I think this is probably the first time that this version of council has gone through billboard process. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No,
but-
You're
that's-
correct.
You were
Okay.
correct.
Okay, so billboards are prohibited in the city of Binghamton. The only way that they can be added or reconstructed is by an act of city council. And I've said this on the record, I'm not a proponent of billboards. And so for a long period of time, even prior to me being mayor, when Park Outdoor had the need to update billboards, rebuild, specifically in the conversion of static billboards to digital billboards. Long before Chris's time, it would come to the city and we would have basically a negotiation say, look, we understand that we don't want to add a square footage of billboards in the city, but if we're going to be rebuilding them or switching from static to digital, that a kind of a deal is cut between the city and Park Outdoor that they remove billboard square footage, elsewhere in the city. We've successfully worked with Park Outdoor over many years to remove and really lessen the total number of billboards in the city. As I said, that was before Chris's time. Chris is new to the company. And so a billboard was constructed on the corner of Port and Alice Street. And while it got all the permits, it was on railroad property. It did not receive city council approval or sign off by this body. So
This is the new digital one. It's
the new digital
There,
one,
yes.
yes, that's correct. So brought in Park Outdoor, identified, and collectively, we identified multiple signage in the city on Glenwood Road, or Glenwood Ave, excuse me, to offset the rebuild of the sign as a way to kind of keep up with that past practice of not adding to digital billboards in the city, or not adding billboard signs in the city. That's kind of how the process has worked. The legislative database will show a bunch of those different cases. And Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, no, is this the example you're talking about?
Those are the boards that would be removed as
Okay.
part of this rebuild.
Correct. Yeah.
Which already happened.
No,
No.
No, the new
the
billboard's
new
there.
billboard,
So how did we
has already
skip the
happened.
process?
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Okay,
As I said, Chris is new to the company. They didn't necessarily do anything wrong as part of this. The fact that it's on railroad property is a little.
makes the grayish
wrinkle.
area.
Exactly. And so, moving forward, and Chris knows this, that nothing can happen without city council approving on it. And in each case, I would push for a removal of signs as is presented in this as well.
So, and it's traditionally been this kind of 2-for-1 deal,
It
or
is.
thereabouts.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, certain locations are certainly more revenue generating for their business than others. But in this case, this was not a new billboard, this is just a rebuild, but nonetheless, we wanted to get what we could out of it.
Ah, all right. So it used to be a static billboard.
Correct. Yes.
We'll mention that seeker is required, right, Bob?
It's required, it also requires the planning commission to review.
Prior to a final vote at a business meeting.
Correct, so planning commission will review it, make a recommendation.
When's their
Council,
next meeting? When's the calendar for that?
they should have one first or second Tuesday in March. One's planning, one's CPA.
Which would be before our next business meeting.
Mhm.
They're the only, I feel like that's the only billboard.
There's quite a
That's
few.
without, right?
Yeah, there's Lamar. There's a few other in the area, but for the most part, it's Park Outdoor in the area. Yep. Does anybody else have any other questions?
So. What happens if we don't approve? I guess that's my question.
I mean, I can walk you through a little bit kind of from our perspective of what happened. You know, we did get with the city of Binghamton and we were told that the railroad property for this specific location is out of the jurisdiction.
Mhm.
So that's the only reason that this transpired like it has. You know, we've always worked with, excuse me, the city, the mayor's office and had that, 2-to-1 cap and replace ratio. Which we would have done this time had we known, we had to, it was a thing, but we, this was our second project in the last 3 years that we're on railroad property. Both times the city said that it's out of jurisdiction, the local zoning laws in this instance don't apply to it. So that's kind of what led us here. And then obviously with the mayor was concerned and kind of wanted to, bring it up and say, let's just lean on this 2-for-1 cap and replace. We don't want to have a fight. We don't want to have any issues with the city. Park Outdoor is a long-standing, business over in the First Ward, family owned and operated, and we want to get along. We don't want to have any fights over this.
And I don't think Councilman Novetsky meant that. It's like
No, I just-
threat.
Yeah,
It was
no,
a
no,
general
I was just like,
I don't- like,
city
it's-
around what happens. So we're a
Yeah.
very curious
Yeah.
group, so.
I hope that curiosity just doesn't ever show itself here with this issue.
So if council were to deny the permit, then technically the sign would be in violation of our zoning ordinance, and the city could then issue a violation. The zoning officer could issue a violation notice to Park Outdoor for that sign. And then that process would kind of play out.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
So the other one that's on the railroad track, is that one also one that we need to be voting on?
That was not a conversion to digital. The
Okay,
last conversion to digital, which I don't think was on a railroad track, went through the process that I
Okay.
described.
Yeah, the one I was mentioning was just safety upgrades for OSHA.
Okay.
Which typically something, you would go
We
for a
wanted-
building permit
right.
for, but they just said it wasn't required for that, so that was just safety upgrades to that.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Okay, Finance Committee Chair Kavanaugh, will you introduce RL 26-63?
Okay, RL 2663 is an ordinance to amend the 2026 DPW capital fund for street lights and poles. Commissioner Paludi.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome.
I am here to amend the budget for street lighting and poles. I brought some visual aids for everybody.
Thank you. So
I'm just,
these are welcome. It would have been nice to have them with the RL.
I will be sure to do that next time.
That's
What's wrong with it?
so my big question is, why did we forget about this in the budget? I
Yeah.
guess.
So it was not forgotten about. The problem with the budget this year was I have no electrician. And with no electrician comes having to contract these things out a little bit. And when you do that, you can't give them the parts to do it. You have to go, I need this done. And they come and go, they give you the quote for each one, and it kind of is what it is. So each one of these, these are just the worst ones. There's actually about 7 of them I'd like to get done. That just couldn't wait. A lot of what I do in the winter time is go around and look for Easter eggs is the best way to kind of say it. For stuff that's, just kind of gotten missed or you just don't see when I spend a lot of time looking down at the blacktop in the summer. Once we get into winter and there's no snow on the ground, I try to look up a little bit more. This is some stuff that was flagged to me and I went around and had a look at, and it's just, you can't leave it like that. It's, God forbid a kid get their hand in there or something like that. It's just not good. Along with that, I was looking at a lot of our overhead lights in the city. And again, with no electrician, I have one guy kind of just trying to change the bulbs and keep up with some of that just to keep the street lighting going. So I came up with kind of like a temporary fix for some of the lights that are out that require a larger volume of fixing instead of just changing a bulb or changing a fuse. I was looking at some of these solar powered lights. And I'm interested in getting a few of them to try them out. I have a lot of issues with solar power, especially when it comes to our street lighting, just because we don't get a lot of sunlight around here. This company stands by this product and they go, it's very good for where you are. We've tested them in where there's not a lot of sun. And I'd like to get a handful of them just to try them out to see what we're doing. Because like I said, even with the problems we have now with no electrician, I could pull off the Cobra head that's there, add that until we get to the point where it can be fixed, and then put the Cobra head back on.
Has this company used anybody else locally? Like, are they known?
They have not. This is the most cost-effective ones that I've seen. I looked at stuff that the state uses and the prices are astronomical, and it's almost like a leasing project for them. You pay so much and they have like a shelf life of 4 to 7 years.
Budget transfer.
And,
Okay.
and they do,
Yeah.
it's for the whole pole installation and the whole thing from there. This is just a head that I could buy and attach to what we have currently.
So it's only gonna be for the ones that kind of like match that LED aesthetic, for lack of a better word. Like, I mean, when I go home, I probably pass 10 different types of lamp poles that the city has.
So they fit on any of our, not the decorative ones.
Mhm.
The decorative ones downtown, no, they won't go on those at all.
Yeah.
But anything that's attached to like the NICEAG poles or like the one example, the church on Shenango Street. That one, we have an underground problem with that. I could take off that Cobra head, put that on. Will it look exactly like the other ones? No, but it should give off really close to the same amount of light. The only difference with these are they have a motion activation to them. So when there's nobody around, it dims down a little bit. When it sees motion, it lights up so you can see what's going on a little bit better. I was pretty impressed with it.
What is the amendment that you're?
There's
The
no budget
budget's-
transfer
it's
either.
On the following, it's just,
Oh.
that's the budget transfer sheet.
Oh,
It's just
okay,
on the wrong page.
so it's,
Oh, okay, there we go.
So would you be going and scooching the snow off the top of them when they get covered? When the
So-
solar panel part, cause I've seen with some of our speed signs,
That's
they get
what I-
covered in
the-
snow
the
and then they don't
speed-
work.
The speed signs are a little bit different. Those take a lot more energy and there's a lot more computer to them. This is just on, off. According to the manufacturer, they can have a little bit of snow on it and still get a good charge. Like I said, I want to get a few of them and try them out. I'm not looking to redo the whole city with these. I want to see if this is something that can work for us, because just looking at the rising cost of the electricity bills all over the place. Maybe this could help us out in the future, but I'm not ready to just jump in and buy a city's worth of them.
So this is $45,000. How many poles are we fixing and how many lights are we buying? Approximately.
So the poles, it's probably gonna be, I think, 8. And then whatever, I'm thinking 3 or 4 of those Cobra heads, solar Cobra heads. And then little extra just to have in case I come across anything else.
We get
You wanna see
the,
this?
yeah, the Cobra head one.
Oh, sorry. Here. Did you actually see these in person or?
I've
online?
only seen them on the internet
Okay.
and I've spoken to the rep. And he's more than happy to give us one to play with for a little while.
Could we talk to him or like before?
I could, yeah.
Is there any? Like warranty? That deal with it? Or-
I believe there's a warranty on it. I can't tell you off the top of my head. I'm sure there's. Probably a 1 or 2 year deal on it at least.
I certainly like the idea of having something we can patch things quickly when there's problems.
Right. That's more of my idea. That's the basic idea, like, okay, this light's gonna be out for 4 or 5 weeks before I can. Get somebody in here to fix it, so let's just throw this up there for now, and then we'll get it straightened out when we get time, energy, and money.
theoretically interchangeable.
They are interchangeable. I've talked to my supervisor over there. He says it should be pretty seamless. There might be a little bit of retrofitting involved, some nuts and bolts, things like that, but nothing out of control.
Can you see that? Anybody else have any other questions?
You think this amount is
Yeah, it's-
covering all your critical Easter eggs that you found so far?
Yes.
Um,
Unrelated to this, but like related to street lighting, is have you had a good look at the 363 project and like? Are we on the hook for all the street lighting that's gonna be associated with that? And the traffic,
So when they are finished. I will be responsible for the maintenance of the street lighting there, yes. We are responsible for the street lights that are there now.
is there-
That are, and I have not replaced any of that because I knew this was coming down the pipe and I've been kind of kicking the can. Cause I knew it was coming, no reason to put up, $30,000 in poles and overheads and things just for them to take it down later.
Is there a new traffic light? Is there gonna be a new traffic light?
So there's a lot of things happening over there. The traffic light on Riverside Drive or not Riverside Drive, North Shore Drive and Exchange Street is relatively new already to begin with. I would imagine that stays, it's what's gonna be up top that's gonna be new. That's a pretty in-depth project with a lot of moving parts.
I've only seen the renderings they threw out. I haven't seen the detailed plans yet. I know it's, they're not getting this half, yeah.
I mean, I'm just
mean
like,
it's
that
not-
intersection looked like the required traffic.
At the bridge or at where the stops?
Yeah,
and all-
or State Street.
Okay.
Can I make a motion to expedite?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Motion and a second discussion.
Okay, it says Rotten Street shut off boxes that are in need of repair, and we saw the photo evidence of that. So,
Any other discussion? Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Councilmember Murray is absent, Councilmember Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Councilmember Dunn is absent, Councilmember Rathmel.
Aye.
Councilmember Matavetsky.
aye,
Councilmember Hotchkiss.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tem Middleton.
Aye.
Thank you, that is 5-0.
Thank you, thank you. And this will be on Wednesday's business meeting.
Thank
It's not
you.
expedited.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Did you say it is or is
It
not?
is.
It is.
Okay, thank
It
you.
is, yep, it's gonna be on. Gonna be on, okay, next, the planning committee chair Rathmel will introduce RL 26-62.
Okay, this is RL 26-62, an ordinance to amend the 2026 HUD admin and housing budget for personal services. This is a salary increase for the currently vacant, correct? Still vacant HUD
Correct.
administration and housing manager to 80,000 effective March 18th. Our presenter is Deputy Mayor Hennessy.
Thanks. Yep. So, as Councilman Rathmel said, this is to increase the salary of the HUD manager position to bring it more in line with similar positions in governmental municipalities and hopefully assist us in hiring. The position was posted back in the fall, so we are hoping that the increase to $80,000 from where it is currently at about $63,000 will help expand the pool of qualified applicants and help us fill the position.
Do we have something from the employee director in showing the comps?
I asked him this afternoon if he had, done any benchmarking or could provide any insight on that, and he said it is comparable to some of the other similarly sized municipalities or comparable municipalities that he looked at. So he sent me a few. He's got Troy community development positions, the approximate salary range 85,000 to 95,000. Schenectady HUD community development manager position 82,000 to 100,000. Utica 75,000 to 90,000. So his sort of synopsis is that the current salary that we have it listed at 63,000 is below market. But this bump to 80,000, still conservative, but should get us closer to where we should be.
Could you send his feedback?
Sure.
To council members? So last, I believe that Dr. Burling shared, there were 3 applicants that applied. Is that still what the pool is that?
My understanding is that there were 4 applications and 1 person no longer interested of that. So at least 3.
So, after this is adjusted, are they gonna do the hire, do they plan to hire at that point?
We posted again at that new, hopefully approved salary and hope that we get more applicants because of the increase.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Sorry, just for the minutes, you said it's posted again with the new salary.
It will be.
It will be.
It's posted right now, what it's 63. If council approves this, we'll repost it with the increase.
No budget transfer yet, though, right? Just
That's-
authorizing?
That's
Okay.
correct, just authorizing the increase in for it to be posted.
And I'd like to point out and thank, relating to, in the past, we've talked about how oftentimes we've hired people and then raised the salary almost immediately, and that was frustrating. I know I've voiced frustration on that because it impacts the pool of candidates, and there might have been other people other than the person that was hired had we not dealt with the salary prior to making the hiring. So I appreciate that this is in the order of operations that I have previously requested. So appreciate that.
If I'm remembering correctly, there was somebody that was gonna be like a temporary hire to fill that role. Did that ever happen or?
Paul Nelson, who had been with the town of Union, was helping out at one point. He no longer is, and I'm not sure if he came in to replace Steve, but now it's Shannon Hostek. Who is the community development and housing specialist, who has taken on a lot of this work along with Dr. Burling. So Shannon has had the responsibility adjustment to account for that.
Any other questions?
It's a critical position though.
It is really very important. I think that the raising the salary will definitely bring in some more people in interest. Oh. So, thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you.
For the evening. Finance Chair Kavanaugh will now introduce RL 26-64.
All right, we have Corporation Council's Bob Perry is going to present our RL 2664 notice to amend the 2026 general fund budget to provide matching funds for ESD grant.
So last business meeting, we approved accepting the grant from ESD to pay for the feasibility study that MKSK was doing. That was done by resolution. What we now need to do is an ordinance that moves the money basically from our grants line into a line we can spend it from, and then to take the matching funds and also put in that line so we can actually pay out of it. Yes. So this is just moving the money like we talked about in that resolution.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions?
I'm not sure that's today.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Murray is absent. Councilmember Kavanaugh.
President, yeah, aye.
Councilmember Dundon is absent. Councilmember Rathmel.
Aye.
Councilmember Matavetsky.
Aye.
Councilmember Hotchkiss.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tem Middleton.
Aye.
Thank you. That is 5-0.
Thank you so much for that. Back with you, Councilmember Kavanaugh, the Finance Chair will now introduce RL 26-65 and RL 20.
That's not added to the agenda.
No? So then that's
It
it.
was on, yeah.
Okay, well, can I have a motion?
Well, I would like
Can
to
you give a
mention,
summary of
Oh,
it
yeah.
at least?
yeah.
I just
so-
wanted to, yeah, Dundon did, Council President Dundon didn't add it onto the agenda.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to motion to at least discuss the finance meeting we had this morning. So.
And I'll second.
Second,
Okay, sorry. Thank
in
you.
favor of talking?
I.
All right. So we had a finance committee meeting this morning. We had a lot of outside participants to discuss what's going to be RL 2665 and 66. Is that right?
Yes.
For a post housing project at 1 North Depot Street. These are large brick buildings across the tracks on the north side from downtown. It's a complicated project, funding wise, bringing in money from a lot of different sources. Involving a state program that I don't think council has had experience with before, which is a kind of a long-term loan program. Plus state and federal historic tax credits, plus funding from the county, proposed funding from asking the city for contribution from our community housing development monies or almost $1 million in show funds. And some green credits as well. And I think anyway, a large complicated capital stack to get together to create 50 units of affordable housing that would be for folks at or below 80% AMI. So not that extreme affordable range, but still an affordable range. And timeline is pretty ambitious. They're pretty far along in a lot of the development stuff, and so it's kind of now down to us to take a look at it and hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully do our part. So I would refer folks to look at the support documentation and the packet we got, and also take it to the finance committee meeting on the internet from this morning. Because we had kind of stakeholders from all those groups I mentioned. Nice little presentation for redevelopment. You can also look back at, they were at planning commission in December, I believe, so you can look back at that meeting as well. For information on the project. But any immediate questions or follow-up forward, I know only Councilman Hodges and I were able to be there this morning, but
I did send, I wasn't able to make it this morning. I did send, so their income upon occupancy chart that's on, I believe, page 16 of the materials that were covered this morning. I did ask if they could do a recalculation, adding, so they identified studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms at projected rent amounts of $1,010.70 and $11.78 respectively. I'm curious if, given not only our significant deficits in lower income strata, but the need for a higher number of bedroom units at lower income levels, I asked them if they could recalculate to see if adding a handful of 3 bedrooms at that 80% AMI or the adjusted 65% AMI, which is what they actually calculated at, would offset potentially being able to put a handful of the 1 bedrooms at a 50% level. I've got a call with the Region Development folks on Wednesday. I understand the parameters of the funding, the challenges in making the bottom line work. But I'm very curious if that calculation is doable. It obviously depends on whether it's doable within the design. But if we're talking about building housing that the community needs, adding even just a handful of 3 bedrooms plus getting some lower VLI rates as opposed to just the LI would be ideal. I think just for, I guess, my perspective on the project, this is a far better proposal than what council reviewed 2 years ago, at much higher rental rates. So I appreciate the adjustment and the reframing and approach and the proposal that's been introduced.
oh, so what I didn't mention, my little Tracy, there was the we also have to approve the other. So one resolution is the CHOTA money, the other resolution is ordinance rather is approving a pilot. So this project is requesting and is pretty reliant for long-term viability on a pilot. Their taxes would come out to approximately a third of the what the assessed value would be, but still contributing to taxes in the community and still growing at 3% per year during the course of the pilot. The pilot would remain in place as long as it's operating, as long as the property's operating under these guidelines and income limits for residency.
Up to 40 years.
Up to 40 years. So that's those are the two, the CHOTA money and the pilot, the 2 things that we're looking at. But both are necessary for the project to move forward.
You have anything else? I have a
They were both listed for expedition.
Yes, so
What's it
they're
doing?
asking for expedition, but they're not, so. There's some state HCR deadlines coming up. That they need to make, but they're okay if we wait till next business meeting, and I think we have some members out, and at least Councilman Rathmel has, some questions to ask, so I don't think I think I will this morning at the finance meeting, I said I would motion for expedition, but since we have some substantial questions that she's already raising, I think we can safely wait till next regular scheduled meeting.
Did you catch the date that they had their big meeting in the state deadline?
I did not, I find out.
It's
It's early March, but I think that the first business meeting that you
Yeah.
guys have in March would
We'll be okay.
meet the
So,
deadline.
so,
If
you follow up and it's a different deadline, also just flag it, we can call it.
we can just.
special business, yeah.
I will, thank you.
Thanks. I would entertain a motion to adjourn, if anybody doesn't. have a question.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Be nice.
Interesting.
Bob, are you gonna wanna meet with us? I saw that you've been sending us emails.
That's.